morning, peeps. Welcome to another vlog. I hope you guys are doing well. I have some really great news, and that is that we officially finished the coffee shop. It has taken the duration of around 6 months to get this darn thing done, but finally it's over. The last inspection phase took place. Everything went well. We didn't have to do any changes, which was a great blessing. And I'm really happy now because I don't have to work really crazy late hours in order to make sure everything is up to date and up to par. So I am super excited for what the future has in store. I got a really interesting thing today because we're doing something brand new on the channel, and I'm gonna leave you guys currently with 3 words. Cast iron pipe. So peeps, in this video we're going to be going to a building my dad's been servicing for something north of 10 years now. And what we have to do every winter is go into the parking garage and look at all the cast iron pipes to make sure that nothing's been compromised. In other words, we have to make sure all the cast iron pipes are up to standard and have no cracks and no leaks in them. So peeps, I did a little bit of research about cast iron and the material and the reasons why we use it in plumbing systems, and I found out a lot of really interesting things. First of all, I find it really interesting that cast iron is not a new material that we use at all. Some of the earliest cast iron pipes that are found are from the 17th century. Few big advantages to using cast iron pipe. First and foremost, for fire safety. See, a lot of the times people perish in fires well before the flames actually reach them, and that's because of the gases that are being produced from all the building materials. So because cast iron doesn't burn, nor does it release any gases, it's one of those really useful materials to put in high-rise systems, for example. It's also known to have a very long life expectancy, sometimes even outliving the building itself. A really big noticeable thing about cast iron pipes is its noise suppression. Cast iron is actually known as the quiet pipe. Because of the density of the wall, when water moves through it, it's actually really quiet. If you've ever been in a house that's been done with ABS, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When you flush the toilet, you're gonna hear it from the floor below, especially if the insulation wasn't done correctly in that house. So a lot of the times, to avoid any noise, a lot of people end up opting in, spending a little bit more money and putting in cast iron rather than going the cheaper route and putting in ABS. So while doing all this research, I didn't find many things that talked about the weathering process of cast iron pipes, but I know that here in Canada we have a particular issue with cast iron when we have deep freezes, like when we have Arctic air come down for a couple of weeks. So what ends up happening is that the cast iron pipe will actually freeze, and if there is liquid inside it already, like water expands when it freezes. So it'll actually compromise the pipe from time to time, which will lead to hairline fractures, which will eventually become bigger and bigger over time, to where you're gonna see in this video there are cracks that are as long as maybe 2 feet in this video. So it's something that you got to keep in mind. Although cast iron is a wonderful material to use for all the reasons that I stated before, it's still not immune to cracking and breaking. Let's get to the job site. Get to work. So peeps, I just wanted to show you quickly what exactly we're dealing with. So as sturdy as the material of cast iron is, it is not immune to Mother Nature. Right here is a big long crack that comes in over time as storm water is draining into it and the weather drops below zero. It starts to freeze. Eventually, going from hot to cold, we'll have a very thin hairline fracture, and then it'll start to get bigger and bigger over time. So that's what we're doing today. We're correcting all the pipes that look like that, and we're gonna place in new ones, and that's the game plan. Let's go. already, peeps. Just got home. It's actually a lovely time right now. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I haven't been able to get home at such an early hour in such a long time just because of the coffee shop and all its intricacies. And that's something I've sort of been craving because I was getting home consistently at 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. at night. Last week when I was finishing the coffee shop, I got home at 11 p.m. And that's really hard because the following morning I still got to get up early. I still got to go out, do a bunch of calls, and then run back to the coffee shop. So it was definitely taking up more space in my life than I wanted it to. And it also led me to burning out a little bit, which is something that, you know, is regrettable. But I feel the mental juices coming back. I feel the energy coming back to my body, which is super crucial. And it also allows me to do more time on YouTube, more time on music, and all those other artistic endeavors that I still keep chasing. So today I took you through a full day of what it was to do cast iron pipe. I'd like to show you right now. My hands are pretty nasty and I've washed them 100 times. There are a couple of really big downfalls with doing cast iron pipe, but there's one good side of it. The good side of cast iron pipe is it's not a complex type of job. I remember when I first got into plumbing, cast iron was something that I took to quite easily. For the most part, you're just measuring length, cutting the pipe, and putting it back in. So it's kind of straightforward in the theory part of it. The biggest downside of cast iron pipe is just how heavy the material itself is. So I find that like right now, I'm super tired compared to what I was yesterday. And even with what I was doing with the coffee shop, I'm tired in a way where I was lugging around heavy materials all day. I feel physically more exerted, and that's one of the hardest part about cast iron pipe. It naturally is so heavy that the job is gonna kind of wear you down faster, and it's gonna be a bit more difficult for you that day when you're doing it. That's also a reason why cast iron pipe is usually a job for more than one person at a time, especially if you're dealing with the long lengths. It's sort of arduous to have to put a big cast iron pipe on your shoulder and walk it across somewhere. It's much easier with two people. So every time we do cast iron work, it has to be charged as two people just because of how heavy the darn thing is. But aside from that, like I was saying, I mean, I took to it early on in plumbing. Find a length, cut it, try to squeeze it in. One little hint I'd like to tell you is that the length that you actually cut is a touch shorter than what the length you actually measured. The reason why that is because once you put the two MJs on the side, it takes up so much space a lot of the times that you're gonna have a hard time putting in that pipe if you cut it exactly the length that you measured it at. So if you're ever dealing with cast iron pipe, make sure to cut it a little bit shorter. Usually we do about 1/4 inch. 1/2 inch is a little bit too big, so it's you know, 1/4 inch shorter should be able to do the job for you well. But even so, in tight spots, what you have to do is you have to get a screwdriver, shove it in between them, and try to wiggle that cast iron pipe into it, especially if you already have roughed in fittings above your head, for example. So those are some small little things you'll notice as you get better with cast iron pipe. Aside from all that, it's also a little bit of a dirtier material to deal with. But it's something nice because we got to do something new on the channel, something I haven't shown you guys before. And that was a full day of plumbing, peeps. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Kenny Molotov, guys. Peace, baby.